The aftermath of the Uvalde school shooting that killed those 19 kids and teachers from others as well. Nearly all those children that were killed in the mass shooting were between the ages of 10 and 11. Mireya Villareal spoke with Uvalde's one and only pediatrician there, Dr. Guerrero, for an interview on Nightline. He treated most of those victims, and here's a preview of what he told Mireya.
And one of my colleagues texted me and said, hey, why are our trauma surgeons and PD anesthesiologists on call for a mass casualty in Uvalde? So immediately I responded with, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I put two and two together. I rushed out of, we were having lunch. I rushed out of there, went to the hospital, and yeah, lo and behold, our worst nightmare had come true.
What was it like when you walked in those doors?
Still to this day, gut-wrenching, nauseating, chaotic. Just parents wondering where their kids are, right? Yelling out. Some of them who recognize me by name, calling me and saying, hey, please go look for X, Y, and Z kiddo. And yeah, it was heart-wrenching. It was terrible. A situation you never thought that you would actually be in, you know? But I think what happened more so than anything else that I've never mentioned before is that for being a small town, 15,000 people, we're not a trauma center, we're not a trauma hospital, you know, we're not equipped or made to deal with this type of scenario.
I'm Mireya Villareal joining me now with more. Mireya, we heard the doctor talk about not being prepared for something like this. I don't think any doctor is prepared for something like this. What more did he reveal about that day to you?
You know, he talks about the fact that, you know, they teach them medicine, right, and how to put together, people put them back together, right? But you can't prepare to see a child with this kind of a bullet wound on them. What you can't prepare these doctors for is how to react to children in this moment, and it's almost kind of a mental therapy situation, calming them down enough to allow them to get treated. He became sort of this liaison while in the hospital that day because he knew all of these children that were in there or that were missing for that matter. So as he would see the parents outside, some of them so desperate just to know where their kids were, he would go inside and try and basically put them together so that everyone started to calm down in this situation. I think he said the hardest point for them was as things started to slow down a little bit later on in the afternoon, they were given this alert that, you know, a few more patients were going to come in, ambulances were coming, and to be outside in the waiting area because they were going to need to triage like 14 more people. And he said that they went out there and they waited and they waited. And those 14 children never showed up. And so he said, for us, that was an indication of how high the death toll was.
What else did he say that really moved you, Mireya, that we need to hear tonight?
I think for us, so the reason why we wanted to talk to Dr. Guerrero right now is because he, along with several other people, other families from Uvalde, are headed to Washington, D.C. They will testify in front of Congress, and he has a very strong message. This is a rural area, and he grew up around guns. So this isn't about taking people's guns away. This is about putting regulations in place, putting policies in place that serve some sort of compromise and try and prevent this from happening again in this magnitude. He is traveling with Mia Cirillo and the Cirillo family. Kira, it's kind of hard to believe, but this is Mia and her mom's first trip on an airplane. This is a young girl who talks about how she had to take blood from another child and smear it on her face and play dead in order to stay alive. Her bravery to speak and to testify in this moment is admirable, and he talks a little bit about that, about what this is going to be like, and the change that he is pushing for right now. He said this is our moment to talk and to speak out and to really come to the table and make some true changes happen.
It still just is incredible for me to think that a child would think to do that, Mireya. And just hearing more of those details, you know, actor Matthew McConaughey, as you know, who's from Uvalde, just addressed reporters at the White House briefing room. I just want to play a little bit of this. It was a passionate plea, clearly, for gun reform as he's on the Hill, hoping to make a difference there. Take a listen.
Enough with the counter-punching. Enough of the invalidation of the other side. Let's come to the common table that represents the American people. Find a middle ground, the place where most of us Americans live anyway, especially on this issue.
Well, we know the people of Uvalde love their famous resident. And what kind of impact do you think this is going to make? I mean, no doubt it's going to build the morale of folks there. But do you think this will go somewhere, Mireya?
You know, Kira, I think these families are feeling supported from around the world. And while the investigation continues here, they still want answers, but they are pushing for change. So whether families are headed to Washington, D.C., or whether they are staying here and continuing to advocate, we just spoke with a parent maybe about 30 minutes ago at the city council meeting. He was the only parent that was in the room, you know, asking about summer school, for example. Summer school started today in Uvalde, and there were a lot of students very scared to go. And this parent who just lost his child, Amy Jo, stood up and said, why aren't we thinking about these children? Why aren't we pushing for change? I'm going to continue to speak out until we start to come to the table with some sort of resolution here, because our children, their lives and their health depend on it. So I think they feel very supported by the Matthew McConaughey's of the world, but also I think they feel supported knowing that there are so many people here in this community that continue to speak out despite the pain that they are feeling right now.
Mireya, thank you so much. And you can catch more of Mireya's reporting tonight on Nightline. Make sure to keep it here for our ABC News Live special as well, Guns in America from Buffalo to Uvalde. That's at 8:30 Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on ABC News Live, also streaming on Hulu. And you can get more in-depth coverage on abcnews.com or by scanning the QR code that you see right there.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.